don't even know how I ended up here, but I'm
Well,
glad, I'm
yeah.
glad to be
Well,
here.
here's what happened. Light Waves goes like, I can't do this, or I can't be there, or whatever. And so she was like, I don't even know where she had the whole quote unquote raffle. Was it just in an Overwatch general?
He asked who wants to be coached by Spilo, and I just replied first.
Where was it? Was it in general?
Yeah, it was just in general.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's simple enough. Okay. Well, we can do whatever you'd like with this. Obviously we could look at the gameplay, but I generally start off the session with like discussing your training schedule and any questions that you may have and all that kind of stuff. So let's just leave this because you don't really have a form here. I'll just leave it open floor. Do you have any
What do you want to
questions?
ask?
I'm not gonna ask anything. Listen, I'm putting all the pressure on you. Screw you, mate. You're getting all the pressure. You're on the hot seat here. So let's just put it this way. Any questions? Anything that you wish you could have asked me earlier, before? If not, it's fine. We can just look at gameplay. But training schedule, structure, gameplay
Training
questions.
schedule? I haven't played this game seriously in like the last month, but I've been coming back into it because it's like starting to get end of season. Like you got to prep for season 9 when the rank reset happens.
Right.
I stopped playing season 7. I got diamond and then I got tired of the meta and stuff, and I left.
Yeah, makes sense. Was this around Malga meta?
No, this was season 7.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's right.
right
That's
after
right.
the mid-season patch.
Yeah,
and then I saw Malga meta, and I'm like, I'm not playing this game.
Legitimately, Malga meta was like Malga. I have a pretty high tolerance for metas, but Malga meta was the first meta where I've played through Roadhog metas, but not Malga meta, not Malga meta.
I played season 2 Hog meta. That was more enjoyable.
I agree.
Yeah, so I don't really have a training schedule. When I played, I used to just grind my mechanics out in like Vaxstat, and I learned. Like, I grinded my mechanics out when I was new to the game, and I haven't been grinding them as hard since. Like, I used to 1v1 GM1 players, and that's how I sort of learned to move and learned to aim and stuff.
Yeah,
I
same.
have like 400
I find GM
hours.
buddies. There was this old Discord called the Overwatch Dojo, and I'd be like, "Is there any GM players that want to 1v1 me in Black Forest?" And I would get my tail smoked. But it really helped me a lot. But yeah, keep going. Sorry. He's AFK for 1 second. You guys can't see the chat here. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Thursday to everybody. Or I guess it's not really Thursday for those who are watching, but hope everyone's doing well.
Hi, my bad. Sorry, my dad came in the room.
No, you're good. Freaking parents just hate those guys.
Yeah, so I have like 500 hours in Kovacs. I know how to aim and I know how to move. Mechanics are like my strong suit. I'm pretty. I guess you could say I'm new. I have like 300 hours in Overwatch.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
So whenever I want to practice, I just play try hard FFA, or I like practice mirroring or pulse. I practice like when my pulses feel off, I just blink, throw a pulse, blink to the next target, throw a pulse. Yeah, and just keep doing that. That's like one thing I used to practice.
Yeah, that's one thing that Vax is really good at. It's not going to be helping you be very good at like 1v1s and stuff like that, but it breaks the rust so fast. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the exposure is like honestly like almost overwhelming.
Whenever I'm rusty, but even like it's just good practice for just about anything except I'd say like it teaches you bad moving habits because the targets don't shoot back. So if you move poorly, you don't get any negative reinforcement, and then you don't really adapt. But besides that, I think it's great.
Yep, exactly. It's a tool. You just have to know how to use a tool.
Exactly. So the code I sent you was a Tracer game I played today. I lost. I was sort of popping off on defense, and then I messed up on attack.
All right. So if any questions come up during the review, just holler, because obviously this is so impromptu that we'll bend some of the rules here. Let me actually look through your notes here. A lot of my deaths were just insanely stupid, like me zoning out, autopilot to take 1v1s, or walking over Torbolt thinking it does chip damage.
This actually happens.
So I guess I guess for you is it's like everybody. Let me put it this way: when it comes to autopilot, zoning out, whatever. That is like a universal problem. There is not a single player in this game that doesn't struggle with that to some extent. The challenge is how do you manage that? Well, go ahead.
The key for me is to play in small bursts. You play 3-4 games in small focused bursts, and then you take like an hour. You take like 2 hours off, and you play like 3-4 more.
Right. Well, that's
how it's always worked for me.
That's it exactly. So as long as you're staying tuned with that, then you're good to go. The question is was this one of those games where you played for too long, or is it just a couple of mistakes?
It's just a couple of mistakes because sometimes it's like I'm thinking too hard, especially when I'm trying to like. Sometimes I think too hard and I end up just playing too slowly. You ever have that
Yeah.
happen to you?
Yep.
Like
100%.
I think
100%.
it happened in an earlier game I was playing today where I was just thinking, and then it turns out that I was in the middle of a crossfire and I just got shot from behind, one
Right,
shot
right, right.
instantly.
Well, that's one of the tricky things that I have a lot with my coaching is that sometimes we'll come away with like a lot of things to work on, but you kind of have to dumb yourself down after the coaching session to the point where like this is why we always talk about like you have to prioritize a specific role because it's very easy to go in and be like thinking too much about too many things. When in reality, you kind of have to just put your horse blinders on and just only focus on the task ahead of you, right?
You gotta
Like
go like if you have like a list of things, you gotta go apply them one by one.
right, exactly. Okay. The spot where I 1v1 the EDRA, then die to Sojourn isn't normal for me to take, but I usually just do a queue with the support and use being pockets, so take more aggressive, stupid fights by default, even though you obviously played different. My last pulse is also terrible and a complete waste. I feel like when the enemy team is a ball, just holding the bash at the play. I should have done that instead of going soldier. Spot where I double blink near the end point is Suzu. Let's take a pulse. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so a lot of little details here. We'll just kind of take a look. Any questions about Tracer specifically before we get in?
Is she harder to play now? I don't know if it's rust or something, but I just feel like I've had more problems winning 1v1s on Tracer recently than I've ever had in my life. He
No.
has 6 damage too, so I don't know why it feels like this, but it feels like I
Yeah.
just lose 1v1s to like Hanzos and Zens and
No, she's not harder. It's just rust. It's rust. It's the first thing that's going to be going when you step away from
yeah,
the game is your
I
mechanical.
think my timing is completely off
Okay,
because
maybe
I'm
that
getting
too.
shot at by 4 people, and that's not normal for me. If I'm engaging correctly, I shouldn't get shot at by 4 people.
Oh, right, exactly. And it's also trickier. Like one of the little details I guess we can talk about is like on a map like this, like you can look at this map, right?
I
And you got to
despise
ask yourself, well, you got to ask yourself, is there going to be like a hard commit from your team at any point in like the next 20, 30 seconds?
Oh yeah, I have a question actually about this
Yeah,
initial
please.
thing.
Sure.
So, uh, this Kiriko just kind of goes in, and I am not sure if I'm supposed to follow up here because I feel like she's just making a suicidal play. So I just kind of sit there. But then I realize I'm not
Um,
actually contributing anything to my team either. So I'm just kind of like lost at the start here.
I would say it's actually probably okay for you to not help her because the rule is always fight with the majority.
Because we have no comms. If we didn't, she just I don't have comms or text or anything
Yeah.
because
Okay, so fight with the majority. Who's fighting besides Akiriko right now?
nobody. And
Right.
I can't go in first either, right?
Right. So
I
let her
actually
die.
watched your
Let her
VOD
die.
review. It was on Eichenwald, and that's where
Yeah.
basically have the fundamentals of timing. It's like you wait for the sounds of combat and then you go in, right?
Exactly. So I think it's okay to let her die here, to be honest with you. Because if your Devo is shooting, then I would have gone. If your Echo is a little bit more aggressive, then I would have gone as well. But you fight with the majority of your team here. So what you do is like, okay, she's dead, but the majority of your team is still here. Now you have an opportunity to actually engage still and trade. So this
Yeah,
is
that's
fine.
what I do.
Yeah, this is fine. Fight with the majority. That's always the rules. Let me look at this here.
So, oh yeah, another question about the
Please.
recall here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I only had one blink, and the second blink wasn't fully back yet, so I
was
wasn't
back.
sure.
It was back.
Was it?
It was.
Ah,
There you go.
I guess I just messed up my timing then, because then the correct play there is to just double blink back
Correct.
there, and then you wrap around, right? Because you want to
Correct.
save your recall.
You could even blink here. This isn't the worst angle in the history of the universe either. But yeah, obviously, just going back to where you came from is probably the optimal play. The timing of the play is perfect. The play is perfect because you kind of like let your diva take a little bit of a heat here. Echo take a lot of heat, and so it's actually kind of shocking to me how quickly this EDRA turns around. I mean, that's kudos to her, right? Like that's pretty impressive, right? But you still get a lot of attention. Hanzo's around, EDRA's turned around. The only thing here is you had 2 blinks, you didn't need to recall. That's all. I think here, because you still have full HP, you still have a mini. I think you can rat here a little longer, honestly. I think I'd almost prefer you to rat here a little
I think just
longer.
wrap back. Couldn't they just like quote unquote fake rotate and just wrap back around?
And go right back to where you came from?
Yeah,
Yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think
because they're probably gonna expect me to come from there, right? Because that's where the zombie went.
The biggest thing with Tracer is min-maxing your pressure without dying. That is like the most difficult part of Tracer from like a strategic standpoint is like finding out.
It's all about like minimizing your downtime, right? Without actually like running it down and
Right, exactly. Because you're like, you look at this and you're like, okay, I just used my recall. Let's say that you didn't use your recall, but let's say whatever, use your recall. Okay, so you have 2 blinks, you have full HP. I think what I do here is I go quietly and I crouch and I listen. And then I get back here with like 2 or 3 seconds left on recall and I start shooting again, right? Because this angle is sick and the timing is perfect as well. But you're like thinking about rotating all the way around because like, oh, I got my recall down. But there's nothing really here that can chase you.
There's just the Hans.
You know?
Actually, you're right.
Like,
yeah, they have some ability.
Right.
It's not like they have like Mora or something even.
Exactly. And even then, like, honestly, like, let's put it this way. If the entire enemy team chases you after recall.
That's my job being done, right?
Right. Like, there's a chance there that you would die there if 5 people turn around. Let's be honest. Like, there's a chance that you die, right? But your death would be, like, honestly kind of worth it. And there's also a chance that you just live and you wasted an unbelievable amount of time and resources to the point where literally your Kiriko would have come back. So, like, let's put it this way. The worst case scenario is that you actually go back in and they're literally the entire team turns on and chases you and you still win the fight. The other scenario is that they ignore you and that you get a free engage. I had this the other day. We were playing pickup games and I was playing Genji and my cringe Patreons went like Zarya, Mei, Kiriko, Mort. They were literally chasing me around the map. I ended up with 20 deaths, most of which were my fault. But also we almost won that match.
Yeah, but if they're gonna run you down, their entire team's gonna hard focus.
They had no space. They gave up so much space to the other 4 members of my team because they were so thirsty to kill streamer guys. So, big thing here is I think that like you had a good angle. I think you had enough HP, enough cover, a health pack, enough resources, blinks, and so on to kind of stay there. And yet you kind of treated it like, oh no, I've got to leave. And then ironically, that almost kills you because while you're leaving, you turn your back to your threats, and then ultimately you exchange it for an angle that's just strictly worse, right?
Yeah, I was just pinking here for a heal, but nobody gave me a heal.
Where was my team here, by the way? I don't think they could. No. I don't think they had to back up because at this point you're down 1. The Sigma's walking forward. Your Diva's lost a lot of HP, and so your team is also demagged, right? So your team is actually holding the choke. They can't even see you. They can't. Yeah,
I should have just like looked and then made a play because I saw the Moira in our team for like a second and I was spamming but then I guess they pushed up.
Yeah, she's thinking about Diva. I mean, this all boils back to you had resources to stay on the angle.
And I died with all my cooldowns up. I think that I could have probably just reacted faster and just blinked to the right side.
Yeah. But you know the way I'm always going to look at things. If there's a mechanical problem, yes. I mean, this your first reaction. Okay, actually, this is one thing that I talk about a lot with Tracer. All right, one of the things I talk a lot with Tracer is whenever somebody gets the drop on you, right? Your first reaction should always be to blink, not to shoot. Always. If this is a Tracer, if this is a Sombra, if this is a Cassidy, a Sigma, a Reinhardt, I do not care what it is. If you look at this here, he's got the drop on you, right? You have to blink. You have to blink.
Yeah, because if you shoot back, you're probably it's going to be a more disadvantaged position.
If
you blink, you can probably reset it to like an even fight, and then I'm confident taking the even fight.
That's it exactly. I see this all the time with Tracer duels as well, where sometimes the Tracer will get like a peak advantage. And the enemy Tracer, instead of like blinking to try and mess it up, will try and like also clip them back, but they always lose. They always lose this because the person got their crosshair there first. Like, look at where your crosshair is, and look at where his crosshair is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you're just automatically.
He has to make a small micro. I have to flick onto his head, and then I have to track him as well. The
exactly.
For him is
exactly.
Much, lower.
Exactly. So it's like you're just at a disadvantage here. But to me, this all goes back to you've not had a good angle in 20 seconds because you had a good angle. You had the resources to stay on the angle, and for whatever reason, you gave it up.
I get it.
This position is really awkward. Not like that. It's
I'm
just
not sure I have to do that.
It's fine. It's like
I feel like I could force him off that, which would be beneficial for my team.
You just messed up mechanically. It's whatever. This is good.
And then I derp out here. This was just a mechanical flub. I die with blinks up. I die with recall up.
You also know again these supports are really playing heads up. I have to give them actual credit because he's like shooting here. He is like I
felt like these guys just would not give me a break.
Right. Well, again, which is both a blessing and a curse because it's an opportunity cost because the idea is that like while he's focused on you here, that your team is they're not really taking space right forward. So it's like, go ahead.
I was gonna say like a small micro thing is when you get discorded with the new change, you just blink back undercover and then you peek out again.
That's it exactly. And it's really frustrating. But the key thing here is I don't know if you saw the Kevster VOD we did like last week, and it was basically talking about like how he is so good at pivoting from like I'm getting attention disproportionate to my character, I play to live. They disrespect me, they die. And he pivots between those two kind of mindsets so flawlessly. And that's something that every Tracer player needs to be doing. So you look at this engage here and you're like, wow, what the frick? Like these two guys immediately look at me. I'm getting hard focused, right?
I get what you're saying, right? It's like these two guys looking at me, I have to maximize the uptime of them looking at me.
Exactly, without dying.
Even if I'm not like directly killing them, I
exactly
just be a nuisance, and that's my job being done.
Right. And your mindset goes exactly to like, I'm not going to win this 2v1. It's fine. Like,
I don't need to win the 2v1.
Because it's a 2v1,
I don't know why I tried
right?
to. I just egoed these guys. There was no need for me to win this.
So then, but as soon as the key thing is being able to recognize this as quickly as you can, adjusting how you're taking this engage accordingly. But then if this EDR is looking the opposite direction, then knowing that I need to get this kill. Right? So obviously it's more of a mechanical mistake, but I think it can also go back to your mindset of how you're approaching that 1v1 as well. Because I think the EDR might actually kill you. I think the Zenyatta hits a shot. Yeah, they both kill you. You see that? They actually both hit a shot at you simultaneously. I was so confused as to how I died. I felt like I got blown up instantly. Yeah, so it was a discorded body shot. A discorded body shot is what you died to. So that's exactly our point there. Like the Zenyatta didn't one-shot you. It's the Yari and the Zenyatta one-shotted you. So treat the 2v1 with a little bit more respect. Roll out here. Minor detail. Go this way. And then from what you see and hear, decide either if you want to roll out high ground for an off angle, either to drop anywhere along the spectrum here, or go through vault and wrap this way. There's no real benefit to rolling out main here unless you're looking to contest somebody on left side, which nobody's here, and you know that.
Is this like a default that applies to every map, or is it just Dorado specific?
I think in general, if you can apply it to every map, yeah, you don't want to be rolling out main, right? I would generally avoid going main and then choosing an angle. I would try to predict as you're rolling out what angle is going to make the most sense, and then read what you see. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you time because instead of being here, you would already be here.
Yeah, I get it.
Or halfway up high ground, right? And then also this kind of crap doesn't happen. You know, where you're like, oh crap, now what do I do? And honestly, with what you're seeing here, I don't think you have time to wrap all the way around. I think you just need to stay here.
What? Right, wait, what do I do here? I actually don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna wrap all the way behind, and the fight's already lost at this point, frankly.
Is it? Can you show me why?
Well, you look at the kill feed.
Oh wait, my soldier's dead.
Your soldier's dead.
And my team is like getting blown up.
Right, and even if it's not technically lost,
it's very disadvantageous.
It's very evolved, and it's also like to what advantage did you get out of what you did, right? I think you already had a good angle to start with. So it's weird that you roll out main and then proceed to take like the deepest flank in the history of the universe. Whereas you
it's like
roll out on the flank and then get right into the action, right?
Yeah, I get it.
That's one of those things where like awkward have been like, oh, nice pulse spawn. You shouldn't even roll out on the flank, to be honest. But I think it's fine to roll out on the flank just as long as you get engaged, right? But yeah, nice pulse. It's you're doing it again here, right? Where it's like this is fine, but honestly, just go back.
Just because it worked doesn't mean it's the correct play.
Right, just go back. Like this, she's low. You're already on an angle here. If you blink to here, you're cooking, right?
Oh wait, what do I do here?
You wrap all the way around behind again. You're running in circles.
Oh. Wait, no, I was lost here. What I thought was that after the pulse, we won the fight, and that's why I thought I'd go wrap around and I'd set up for the next fight and try to get a drop on them. But then I realized that the Ilari pops, and then I'm like, oh wait.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was so confused. It's like we're going on a tour of Dorado. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was kind of confused myself because I thought we'd win that fight after I pulsed too.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at where your team is and where the enemy team is, what's the best angle for you to play right now? I know it's a bit tricky, but what do you think?
You want a crossfire? You want to go to the gate thing? What do you call it? The garden?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to set up a crossfire.
Yeah, over here would be good. This would probably be the best angle. Where you're at right now, you could wrap around to what you did earlier and kind of like let them walk.
Yeah, but the point is, I'm still playing the same angle my team is playing, and that means they have like less angles to worry about, right?
Right. This
is it's like it's not like this is bad, but it's more like the other ones are just better.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that assessment. Yeah, nice job. Good kill. It's nice that she actually pushed you in there, so that's helpful. But yeah, this feels super scary.
Yeah, I realize I don't have recall, so I back off.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, you just see how awkward, like, when you want to deepen your angle, there really is nowhere to deepen from that position. This is better, though, because you could either play here or deepen here. You could honestly just go to the spawn at this point. Yeah. Like, you could, if they're gonna, you could even just sit back over here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sit over here.
I can.
Again,
Oh,
no,
we have to close the pulse, right? So
right.
I could just, like,
well, even that. Who's gonna push you? It's the exact same question as what we were asking over here. Remember?
No one. None of them can
Nobody's gonna
reliably
push you.
contest me.
No, nobody's gonna push you, right? So, and if they did, you just run and live and waste more and more time. And then once you're in this angle, there's really nowhere that they can go that you can't contest them. So I don't mind. Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of derped out a bit.
Right,
I don't. Where did the Hanzo shoot me from?
He came back from spawn.
Yeah, that's.
But it's the big thing is,
lost.
I think that, like, okay, here's what we're saying. Part of this was like, we're picking at you for, this is the wrong position. This is the wrong angle. What are you doing, idiot? But honestly, I don't hate it so much because it does feel like that you're thinking these things through. It seems like you're doing a lot of like, okay, where do I need to be? Where do I need to go? Where do I need to be? Where do I need to go? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Usually when I'm...
So I don't think it's a problem that you're doing these things. Just it's good to reassess these now and think, okay, I tried to figure this out. I couldn't quite get it right. What would have been a better option?
Yeah.
For next time, right?
I mean, I already did that like earlier. Like you see, I kind of adapted. This is the first time I added Zen. Second time the Zen Discords. I just go on peak.
Right.
And I go pulse here.
Beautiful. Like even here, like if you want to be real nitpicky, don't drop right along the roof.
What do you mean right along the roof?
You know you can walk across this ledge, right?
You can?
You can.
I didn't know this.
And then you can hop up to this roof here. So then you could get perfect vision of when and where you want to go in. Yeah.
Oh, I had no clue. I thought you just slide off, so I never bothered.
No, you could do it. So that's yeah. This is a good angle. Also pretty good timing there, But yeah, just food for thought. And then this is you without recall, kind of avoiding that ball. It's fine. Yeah, nice pulse.
Thanks.
All right, set up your next angle. Either going to be right, left, high ground, whatever. Leaning right. Quiet. Yeah. Sneaky. So they're already on payload here. So you can think of this one of two ways. I'm going to keep these backliners from walking forward for a second, or I'm just going to hide and let them walk forward. This is a mistake.
Wait, could you pause there?
Think for a second.
Could you like zoom out?
Sure.
Oh, this is terrible.
Right.
I'm looking out in the open, low cooldowns, exposed to 3 of them, and she has pylon up. No one can help me.
Right.
I'm basically gonna get blown up immediately, right? And
then
they're just gonna move on.
This kind of goes back to what we were talking with the Kevster, right? Where you could look at this and be like, this is a strategic decision to slow them down so that my team can poke out the ball a little bit more, right? That's fine. But you're not going to get a kill here. You know it.
Yeah.
So how do you approach this fight? How would Kevster approach this fight?
You play standard angles with a lot of cover. You just unpeak, poke them, annoy them. You have to always make your presence known, but you can't also play it too aggressively because then you get blown up and die. But you also can't play it too defensively or passive because then they'll just ignore you and walk past. So you gotta hit that golden area.
Right. So you could let them go past here. You could just be like, I don't care if they walk forward. I'm gonna go spawn camp the Sojourner or whatever. I'm gonna wait for my team to contribute a little bit more. But if you are gonna play for a distraction, you need to play for a distraction. The problem is that this is a distraction moment because she's Pylon, the Zenyatta's here, the Hanzo's here, and so on. And you have no team follow-up. And look at how you approach this engagement. This is all in.
Yeah, it's
like if you don't and then you are in serious trouble. Like that is a situation where you might have just.
And then
died
I give up
there.
all the space for nothing, right?
Well, no, I think you needed to disengage. I think you were in trouble. Now,
what I mean is that instead, if I didn't engage here at all,
yes,
I could have sort of made it more difficult for them to take the space, and I could have slowed them down instead of giving it all up at once.
Exactly. If you had been more patient here, more pokey, maybe break the pylon, harass, distract, and so on, you could have held this angle exactly without having to give it up. And then you probably would have wasted a lot more of their time as well. But now this is terrifying. You know what I'm saying?
I think I die here.
You could have played this one a little bit smarter. You only had the one blink. That was a good time to use it. But then here, do you see your resources here? Just sit.
I should have just waited for the second
Just
blink to come
sit.
back
Yeah,
up.
just wait for the blink, wait the blink. Peek, blink, and then finish him off. I think you get him.
Yeah, but I also didn't expect to be body shot melee'd. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen anybody use that combo in my life.
Right, but he might have just headshot you.
That's fair, but that's why I was jumping, because I wanted to like
Makes
sort of
sense.
minimize the
Makes
risk
sense.
of that.
Blink's better than a jump.
Agreed.
I like the angle here. This is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just
Just contest him. Just get him. Nice. Nice little bit of trigger discipline there. Pausing the clip and resuming. Very nice. That was a good rollout. That was a great rollout. That was what we were missing on the other time that you recontested on second. Love to see it. Don't do this. Your team will handle it. Play selfishly. So you need to think, first off, does this angle allow, well, first off, where could I get to backline, right? And
this
the second
angle,
off,
I feel like I don't have like a quote unquote direct threat. Like I can't reliably poke them from this angle, so I'd have to like drop down. And I'm not sure if I want to hard commit sometimes, you know?
Yeah, so this is maybe
I
where
feel
this
like
angle
if you
made a
push
bit
up
more sense.
This one gives me more ability to poke, and also I can just also go for the full all in.
Yeah, go for the drop for the full all in. Recall back to high ground. You still have 3 blinks. Choose what you want to do from there. You could also do the same thing over
I
here.
can just unpeak. Yeah, and I
Yep.
can just unpeak for cover, and
Exactly.
so I'm basically chilling.
And you choose whatever target you want to go for and whenever you want to go for it. This is a good angle over here as well. Same kind of thing. But yeah, I agree. But yeah, unfortunately here it's like you don't really have an angle at all. And then when you do get to the high ground, you've used a lot of blinks. And honestly, maybe this is a situation where they might have already established high ground control. Like let's say you triple blink over here and the Genji Mercy are already on high ground, right? So then now it's like, ooh, it's kind of awkward. Good. Good. Just live. Just live. Yeah, live. Oh, nice. Oh boy. Duel the Fates. Nice job. That was terrifying. Get her.
Do I hit this?
Oh, you do.
Oh, I do.
Disgusting. 6 pulse bomb kills. With 3 pulse bombs. Love to see it. Nice job. Okay. So I think for you, the 2 things there's 3 things that I'm seeing. And I'm gonna have you recap at the end of this review. One is choosing angles that make the most sense for you. I think maybe it's just a map specific thing with Dorado. Maybe you're not as comfortable with Dorado, but you're not choosing.
I hate Dorado so much. I
you
just
need to
don't know how
practice
to
it with
play
this map. You need to choose. You need to practice it and keep
Yeah, but
practicing
like
until you find a
this
better
was
solution.
kind of my experiment. Like, you see, at the start of the round, I just go play that.
Right.
I go play like this. This was like just me experimenting and seeing
Sure.
where I can, how far. I guess I'm limit testing to see how much space I can take
Sure. Second thing.
and which off angles I can play.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
normally I play more. I think normally I just play high ground, then I blink to the right side and I drop down.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. The second thing I would add is you need to do a better job of assessing whether you're playing for a kill or you're playing to distract, and then do that job amazingly. You got 2 people on you, you're a distraction, you're not playing for the kill. You got 1 person on you, and you have an advantage, play for the duel, play for the win. Even the first fight here on the defense, you could have continued to play for the distraction, and instead you panicked and left. You could have continued to distract, you had the resources for it, something to kind of keep an eye on. Right,
Yeah,
that Kevster pivot between distraction versus kill. And the third thing is more of the micro thing of like when somebody has the drop on you, I want to see you opening with blinks more. Don't disrespect their aim.
Got it.
That's not necessarily that you're doing on purpose. Like, oh, I'm disrespecting their aim on purpose. It's just not something that you've built into your muscle memory yet, and you need to continue to practice that. Good angle. This might be a bit tricky here. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, now you're Divas.
You don't fight the Hanzo log inside that small tight space.
Yeah. 2v1 is not the best there. Okay, yeah. Their tank is AFK. Does their tank choose his character? He does.
Yeah, their tank goes wrecking ball, and then everything goes to hell.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Establish an angle. Good. Keep distracting. Keep like you don't need to overthink this one here. Like I think that like if you want to rotate back to here and put pressure here, but this angle freaking
I thought
rocks.
that if I just keep that angle again, the Kiriko would just 2-tap me.
Right. So then what you need to do is you need to listen. So you're here.
Or maybe I could mix up the way I peek.
Exactly.
I can like jump peek, or I could just Can
Exactly.
I use? Is it worth it to use a blink to peek, quote unquote?
You
Like I
could.
just blink
You
wisely.
could, because if you think about it, you're not really hard committing here, right? So what else are you going to use your blinks for?
Yeah, because I have.
And don't forget, you could just peek here as well. This is also a great distraction. Break pylon. Like this is.
I never thought of that.
This is obviously going to be one of those distraction plays, right? But you're in a great position to continue to distract, harass, distract, harass.
I have cover. I have a mini next to me. I have cover, and
yeah, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
I might even commit. I might peek there one more time just to. This is all good. I mean, that's unfortunate. This kind of goes back to that.
Here. Can you show me how I died here?
Yeah. You got shotgunned. You got shotgunned.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, it's another one of those things where it's like he's so low. But I was talking the other day with a Master's Tracer last week, and I was saying that the highest number of Tracer deaths occur when a target is low. Because you disrespect their aim and you're just like, oh, the target's 1 HP, right?
No, I just didn't think that the shotgun hit would ever hit me for that much. I don't know Torb's damage numbers. I'm going to be completely real with you.
It's pretty crazy with the shotgun. It's hard to hit. That's a great shot for him, but yeah. Okay. That being said, actually, I think that you played that fight really quite well. I think it could have been a little bit better. But we were talking about like, oh, just peek this angle, and then you peek the angle, and it was good. You were a good distraction. Just unfortunate that you died, that's all. Distraction? See, this is the
I realized that I haven't heard Suzu get popped yet. I'm like, it's just gonna be a waste of
right.
So then I go recall back.
And it's not just the Suzu, it's also just because you have pulse spawn, you're thinking like, I need to go in, but there's not a huge rush with pulse spawn.
No, it's like I don't want to like hog the ult, if that makes sense, because then
I agree.
The quicker you use the ult, the faster you get the next one, right?
Right. So, true. But it's one of those things where it's like the Suzu, whatever. If you pressure wisely, you won't have to wait longer than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So you can wait 5 seconds to build the next build.
Like right now, I'm pretty sure I just got it right now, right?
Right. So there is the Suzu.
Like, I'm not in a rush to use it like immediately.
Right. The irony is that you're in such a rush to use your pulse bomb that you end up costing your recall, which means that you can't pulse bomb.
I don't even know if I was in a rush. I think I just forgot to account for it because normally I do like a check in my head. It's like, did I hear the Suzu sound? Did I hear did I hear the life grip sound?
But that being said, decent angle, and we lived on that angle, so at least we were
also,
continuous.
The reason I play cart is because my friend's GM1 Tracer, top 150. He says the Tracer's job is just to push the cart. It's just something he's really good at.
Okay. This is why you have to be very careful about who you get advice from. Your GM Tracer friend is 100% right, but 100% wrong. Let me explain.
He says it depends on the map though, because if the cart provides you cover, then it's the correct play.
It's different. It's different even than that.
Oh.
In higher ranks, people push up and take space. People not only push up and take space, people push up and they take high ground. The problem with taking high ground with your composition is that when everybody's on high ground, who the frick pushes cart? Tracer. Because Tracer can play any position, any angle that she wants. She's relatively flexible. So you put your Tracer on cart so that everyone can push up and control space and control angles and so on. The problem is your diamond. Look at where your Mercy and May are parked. They are not pushing forward and taking space. They are sitting on cart. So it's actually more important for you to go push forward and take the space and take an angle because these guys are not. Now, let me tell you, if your team is all pushing forward on high ground, then yes, you should push cart. If there are people, anybody that on your team just, cart princess.
I don't tend to go. I tend to leave cart as soon as my teammates hop on it. I just push it when no one else is pushing it because
that's fine. That's totally fine. That's especially fine in maps like where there's a lot of high ground.
Initially, I thought that you're just never supposed to play main or push cart at all, so I always avoided it. And I just when no one was pushing it, I assumed it was a sports job. But since I found that out, I would just push it, and then when my team comes, I just leave and I go play the off angles and stuff.
Think about it this way: when your entire team is on high ground, the cart is an off angle. You kind of see what I'm saying? So it's just something to consider.
Natural cover to play off of as well. So.
Right. So like right now, like especially once this ball is out of here, go find
why am now that I think about it, shooting this ball is I'm just wasting my time.
Maybe. If you think that he's actually killable, I don't mind it. But yeah. Okay. So this is fine.
I don't even know if I was thinking. I think I just saw the thing move and I'm like, I'll kill it.
I wouldn't give myself away here, to be honest with you. Just leave, because I'm gonna have to walk forward at some point. So.
To be honest, I thought I'd die way earlier and I just switch off hit scan.
Makes sense.
I just switched to hit scan because I don't want to play into Torb.
Yeah, but there are worse things. Torb's only a soft counter to you, especially on
Nah,
this
nah,
map.
nah. It's like this comp of it's like Torb, Illari, Kiriko. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I understand that. It's the body shot makes you want to, freaking, never want to play the
I feel
game
like
again,
it's
kind of thing.
just. I feel like even if it's probably, I'm not even sure if it's good for my development long term to plant the counters or whatever. But I feel like if it's just easier and probably like more fun, I don't see a problem with it.
Sure, sure. Here's what I will say: if you're going to play Tracer and then swap here, at least have the dignity of not trying to play a poke battle with a Kiriko Iliari Sojourn at this range.
Yeah, I
When
don't know what I was thinking. I
when
just
we
thought that I'd shoot them and they'd just
right.
turn to look at me, and that's
This is a misapplication of the Kevster principle. Okay,
because it doesn't actually. Do I actually do anything here?
you do nothing, right? You do
Because
nothing,
like this is remember how I was telling you about the golden spot where you have to be
right?
like not. This is too
Right.
passive because I don't actually apply enough pressure for them to just. I'm just dead
Exactly.
weight right now because I'm not applying pressure for them to look at me, and that means I'm not doing anything for my team either. So it's basically just 5v4.
The distraction principle only applies when you're at an effective range. When you are here, distracting the Kiriko Iliari, you are dangerous. And so they have to look at you. When you are here distracting them, you are not dangerous. So really, they don't have to look at you. And even if they do, the reward is so low for you and the risk is so high. So let's put it this way. If you wanted to distract these guys, you would have been here and play to live, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're going to play distraction, even if you play it passively, play it close. There's no such thing as a poke Tracer at that range playing passively. That's just bad Tracer.
Yeah, I
Your
got it.
character doesn't function at that range. And ultimately what ends up happening is that the things kind of get spiral out of control, and then now you're... I mean, you decide you're
Can you
backline.
burst fire with Tracer?
What do you mean burst fire? Like...
I mean, like just like I'm pretty sure the pistols just spread out for long. You know, like you hold mouse one, the recoil, the pistols eventually spread out longer, more.
I don't think that she has spread within a clip that expands. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure.
Like
but
I might be dumb, but I'm pretty sure that like my first shots tend to be more accurate. Like, and then like after like the first 6 or 7, they just kind of start to go spread. So I was thinking like at mid range, should you burst?
Let me double check here. I don't think she does. The reason why you would do burst fire is if the target has a lot of movement. Let's actually showcase that here. So if the target has a lot of movement, what you do is you burst. Let me actually get a good example here. So you burst, and then you pause, and then blink, and then finish your clip.
Yeah, my friends told me this as well. It's like if you're playing against low mobility, easy to pick off targets like Zenyatta, you can go full clip them. But if you're playing against like a Kiriko, you can go like, or like even other DPSs, you can go like half clip and then blink and then half clip again.
You can, and sometimes you do it without even blinking because you pause mid clip to realign your crosshair and resume shooting for more ammo efficiency. That's another little thing that's something called trigger discipline, where you shoot, they move, you then pause, you shoot again instead of just mashing down your mouse one over and over and over and over again.
Usually I don't have an issue tracking them, but sometimes.
Sure.
It's like, it's just, unless it's Kiriko. If it's Kiriko, I feel like it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You just recommend shooting her legs, by the way?
No, I recommend shooting like the neck, the shoulders area. It's hard, but like, it's still worth doing.
Right.
Her entire hitbox is slender.
I think I just default to shooting the legs because that's what I heard people do best.
Yeah, I'm not so convinced that that's not just a shortcut to be mid, to be honest with you. I mean, I understand the reasoning behind it, but like, I'm not sure if that's what a top 500 Tracer would do, and I'm not sure, honestly.
Isn't there also a glitch with her hitbox? It's like her arm covers her head hitbox or something like that.
No idea. Honestly, no idea.
It was posted on Twitter earlier.
It might be.
Parts of her right arm just cover her head hitbox, and so you can just aim directly at her head, and you'll just miss the headshot. It'll count as a body shot.
Interesting. I mean, I believe it. I know there were bugs like that even going back to Hanzo way back in the day. I'm not sure if you remember that, where his arm would protect his head hitbox.
I only played like Overwatch 1 at like the end of its life cycle, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to look at Soldier? Or do you want to move on to another code?
I don't think I have another code. I mean, I know my Soldier gameplay here was terrible.
I know
everything. I feel like I know most of what I did wrong to like a decent level.
Sure.
Not like I know everything to improve on, but I feel like I know a lot of what my mistakes were.
Makes sense. So do you want to call it here? Get to type up some notes?
I already typed out notes. I've been doing it the entire call.
Oh, well, then you're way ahead of me. Do you have any questions? We can just wrap it up in the chat. If you have any questions,
Uh,
if you want.
oh yeah, I think like when I play Flashpoint maps or when I
Mhm.
play COP maps, it's fine for me to just hop on point, right? Like if if the enemy team is fighting, because that's like something I got told to do, which is like if they're just all fighting outside of point, you just go on point, you go cap it, you go put pressure. That's a
Yeah,
correct play to
fine.
right?
That's fine. That's fine. Especially if you don't really have a great angle onto the enemy backline, like you're already set up for it, then yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, your team is fighting a 4v5, but in theory, they should realize that and play
Like
that one a
they
little bit
should send like
safer.
one or two people to just go, because otherwise I just get the cap point. No, that's fine.
Right, right, and it does tick really fast. So yeah, I think it's probably fine.
All right. Well, I think this is actually a lot for me to go and learn and focus on applying.
Okay,
So
sure, mate. All
thank
right.
you.
Well, you're